Through EL, we use models, critique, and descriptive feedback to improve our work to make it high quality. Students produce high-quality work that demonstrates complexity, craftsmanship, and authenticity. Teachers plan deeply to support students in creating products that demonstrate these high qualities and provide time to create multiple drafts.
Today we're going to look at some writing. What are some things you have to do when you're making an information writing? What do you need to do to get the information? Lucia?
You need to figure out what you're going to be writing about.
Yeah, figure out what you're going to be writing about. How do you figure out what you're going to be writing about? Jackson?
You need a book or a movie.
Okay, so if you pick a book to write about, where are you going to find information about that book? In a book? Where would you find information about a country?
On Google.
On Google, yes. You could find something on the internet. Lucia?
You could try figuring out to find like books about that country or about countries like
Yes. August?
Lucia's essay started off with her reading a quality, complex text that gave her the opportunity to dig deeply into an academic topic that matters and helped to make connections between her academic learning and the real world. A quality, complex text serves multiple purposes. It contributes to a student's knowledge about a compelling topic, it is engaging and rich, and it is at the right complexity level for students.
Here, and we're going to see what this person did to get information about their country. So raising your hand, what do you notice about this poster? Jackson?
it tells you like the boxes tell you what to write about.
This person used a graphic organizer to get all their information and get all their ideas down on paper before they started writing their pair.
Lucia explored complex text through the closed reading process of careful analytical reading, including repeated reading and text-based discussion. A written analysis was completed with a graphic organizer to gather accurate, detailed information that she will authentically connect her own ideas later in the writing process.
So everybody got this graphic organizer and they went on the internet and in books and they got all their information and they wrote it in the graphic organizer. What do you do after you write it in the graphic organizer?
Maybe put it like you could do it on a piece of paper or type it out.
Very good. So what is that called when you're taking all your information out of the graphic organizer and putting it on this piece of paper? So next, Lucia? Draft. You have to do a first draft. So we're going to take all this information and we're going to put it in a first draft. And this is what that student did.
Students are given opportunities to unpack an example of the work they are expected to complete. Using familiar content to scaffold writing will ensure comprehensibility and support their success. Lucia will text code the teacher module using yellow, blue, and green markers to identify the body and conclusion sentences and information related to these sentences on their close read. Similar text coding can be used to find the main idea, gist, or other text writing features. To provide further differentiated support, the student was given sentence starts and a template that carried over the text coding to build a concrete connection between module and student work.
What do you know about the first draft?
It's about
Okay.
like the exact same as the
Oh, okay. So you're noticing it looks different than the graphic organizer? So maybe the graphic organizer had a bunch of information that might not have been in sentences, right? Because you're just getting your information and your ideas down. And then when they wrote it on their first draft, they made it into sentences. So great observation. So when I take my first draft and I go to write my second draft, what do I need to do in order to get to that second draft? Should I just rewrite everything I wrote on this the same to the second draft? So how am I going to know how to change it? How am I going to get ideas on what I can do to improve it to make it quality? Jackson?
maybe ask help so you know how to spell.
Yeah, you can ask for some help so people can look at your first draft and maybe give you some ideas. Lucia?
Maybe you could ask somebody to read about it or like circle stuff if it's not spelled correctly, or give you
great idea. Yeah, circling words that maybe you spelled incorrectly that you might want to look up, or maybe if you missed a period. So we're going to give you feedback, right? So the next draft we're going to look at has some feedback.
Students use criteria for giving feedback. Students will be kind, be specific, and be helpful.
And then we talked about she needed to go do something in class before she did her other draft. What did she do? What do you think she should do before she writes another draft?
Fix it up.
Yes, she should fix it up. And how's she going to fix it up? Perfect. She's going to go ask her peers, right? She's going to get feedback. What kind of feedback do we give our friends? We do. Repeat after me. I can give feedback that is kind, specific, and helpful. So Lucia went to her peers and she went and got kind, specific, and helpful feedback from her peers. And she rewrote her draft. And let's see what she corrected.
Peer critique is beneficial for revision in organization and for purpose. What better way to introduce peer critique than model using a teacher model containing intentional mistakes in spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and a model how to edit for convention. Continue to reinforce the habits of character while students give and receive peer critique. Students who struggle with oral language and/or auditory processing may need additional support. Consider providing sentence frames for students to refer to during discussions or a note-taking template.
So her peers gave her some feedback. They circled this. What did they say? Does this make sense?
No.
So she went back and she thought, well, maybe I can switch that around so it makes sense. Then her peers said, oh, didn't spell the word get right. Oh, that's the wrong there. So her peers helped her spell her words and make sense of her writing. Why do you think they highlighted the A and the N? Correct. It's supposed to be a lowercase, so that helped her figure her punctuation and her capitalization as well. So then, after she got feedback from her peers, what do you think she did next? She fixed it up, so she's going to be writing her final draft. Are you ready to see her final draft?
Having high quality work has helped me become a better reader and writer. It helps me feel proud of my work and excited to share with my family and our community.
Special thanks to the third grade students who allowed us to film during class, and of course to Lucia. Thanks for sharing with us your essay.